good evening. And tonight is Paranormal Path Chat. And we have Lois Harder, co-host. And tonight our special guests are You Haunted? How is everyone?
Hi, great, thanks.
Hi.
Apart from Jane blasting out the audio, we're fine. Hello, Ben.
We can hear her. So it's so great to speak to you again. I spoke to you last time and it was lockdown, you're all stuck indoors, but now you're free. I've watched a Binbrook episode, absolutely brilliant. I've actually been to that location as well.
Yeah, great place, isn't it?
I've been there, yeah.
I couldn't find it.
You couldn't find RAF Binbrook?
You can't find a RF base.
Well, no, I was heading down the other side of the metal fence because I didn't know it was a community centre.
Oh, yeah.
So much as though I found Binbrook, I was flying right near in my car near the runway, having a whale of a time. She just totally missed me, so it's all good.
I did exactly the same thing. I parked outside there for about 20 minutes until I phoned Phil saying, "Where am I?" He said, "You're in the wrong place."
Yeah.
They're shocked.
It's interesting, isn't it? And I like the cellar bit as well.
Yeah, we had an absolutely awesome time when we went to RAF Binbrook. So thanks for the compliment. Yeah, some of that audio that we captured was totally freaky deep, man.
Amazing.
Yeah, really bizarre.
And that tap as well, like on the coat hangers.
Oh, that was like a gunshot, wasn't it? Can you remember?
That was weird.
Oh yes, yeah.
You can hear like birds after it, as if it was like a bird scare on the runway, something like that. But obviously the runway doesn't. Well, it's the middle of the night and it isn't working. So
yeah, it's an interesting place. It really is. So we've got Ben, and Ben's just embarked at university. That is so awesome. You've done really well as well because it's just been such a bad time for you. And you sort of you trying to juggle the paranormal and uni now.
I'll try to go to what I can, but obviously it's hard to get about when obviously I can't drive. I don't have my car with me.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's great, isn't it?
Mm.
I bet you miss him though, don't you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I said to him the other night, was it last night, Ben? And I said, "Miss you," and he went. And I knew it. You know, when you're talking to somebody, you know they just want to get off the phone. I'm like, "You want to go, don't you?" And he's like, "Well, my mates are waiting for me to play Xbox. We put the projector on the big screen." And I'm like, "Oh, so you're really missing me then, aren't you?" And he says, "Well," I said, "Well, tell me that you miss me." And he says, "Well, you should know that." I'm like, "Oh, great." So yeah, he's having a great time, and yes, we do miss him loads. But shouldn't be too long before he's.
I miss you, Ben.
Yes, you will.
You know, this is the stage that I dread because my little boy's 12 and I keep saying to myself, do you know what am I going to do when he grows up and he wants to go away with his mates and all that, you know, that's my time in life. But if that, I'm glad to know that somebody like you, Sarah, the older lady, that still misses her son, you know.
Oh, I miss him loads, but it's nice because we're quite lucky now, aren't we, that we've got like video calls and what have you. So I do kind of pester him an awful lot, which I know that probably does his head in, but tough.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, bless.
Oh, it's so natural though, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really
and
is.
we're really proud of him as well, and we want him to have a great time. So
yeah,
mixed emotions.
Oh, that's brilliant. So Ben seems quite sensitive to spirit as well, I've noticed. They always pick on you, don't they?
He seems to get picked on more, nearly as much as Jane. But he's probably the one out he's probably the one in the group that's got the best hearing, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's the hearing, isn't it? Yeah. Teenage hearing.
Yeah, because to say that teenagers have a different frequency.
We
didn't a different frequency, and as you get older, that frequency changes.
He had a phone app that did all the frequencies because we all had to go with it, and the levels he could hear were just completely different to ours. So we did try it out, didn't we, that time?
Oh, that's cool. So that is right then. I have heard it, but I've not tested that.
Yeah,
so
it's completely right.
That's brilliant. So, a quick shout out, and we've got quite a few watching. So, Wayne Seaton, thanks for watching. Carl Ashton, Irene Takura, Richard Rogers, Sam, Von Hunter, Nigel Porter, Gina Sugden. Hi, everyone. So, if you've got any questions, let us know, and we'll try and incorporate them into the show. So, shall we start with Sarah then? Your encounters of paranormal, we've covered it slightly like last time, but where did your story begin with a paranormal?
For me, it would be when I was really young. It started off, I sort of had, and I don't know if it was like poltergeist activity, but it started off when I was sort of like, I guess I would have been about 10, 11. And you know, when you have like friends that come and stay over, well, I'd got like this, it wasn't quite a double bed, but it was like, you know, the larger double bed. And we used to just crash down in the bed together. And it had a shelf above the bed. And whenever I put anything on the shelf and I was just sort of nodding off to go to sleep, I'd have whatever it was on the shelf would fly off the shelf and hit me in the face.
Oh, wow.
And then when I had friends stay over, it did it to her, and she turned around and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I've not done anything. It wasn't me. I was just like trying to get to sleep." So I was just like nodding off again. We kind of argued about it and then started to nod off. And then I remember I'd got like a leaflet, you know, like a sort of like a thin, long leaflet, and it had got a few like coppers on it, as in change, not police officers, but that actually I heard it slide and the coins, and that slipped onto my face. So there was no way that the shelf could have tipped it off. It actually slid off the shelf and went onto my face. So I sort of complained to my mum about all this weird stuff that was going on, and my mum, being my mum and very grounded, she said, "Look, just don't put anything on the shelf and then you'll be fine." So I didn't, and I just didn't put anything at all on the shelf, and nothing happened for a while until I forgot. And I think I left something like a cassette, you know, back in the day when we were listening to cassettes and not CDs, and that showing my age now. But I'd put a cassette on there and forgot about it, and lo and behold, slid off and hit me in the face. So that's where it kind of started. But I was quite fascinated by paranormal. My dad had a spooky book, which I've actually got a copy of. It's called Ghosts Over Britain, and it's by Peter Moss, and the illustrations in it are actually fantastic. And I think I used to read that and then scare myself silly on a night when I went back to bed. So that was where it really started for me.
Wow, it sounds interesting. Have you ever thought of who that could have been, or was it with the house, do you think?
I don't know. It didn't last for that long. When the bed went, the activity went. If it was anything to do with the bed, I don't know, but just very bizarre. Yeah.
So that was that a new bed, or?
It was it was fairly new. It's actually one that my dad put together. My dad's very sort of handy, and he put the bed together. So it wasn't like an old antique bed or anything like that. So don't know if it was just sort of that adolescent stage and something was there, or I don't know. But that's where it sort of begun for me.
That's interesting. Quite a scary experience. The only time I've had something fall off a shelf was when the shelf collapsed on me mid-sleep. And that wasn't, wonder what the hell was happening. So, Wayne, what about you then? You first sort of step into the paranormal.
I think what first got me interested was my parents' house. They had a old back-to-back in Leeds, and I wasn't born there. I was born at another house after that. But as I would like from being a teenager, they started telling me stories of what we would class now as poltergeist activity. They were, not into paranormal, no beliefs, no TV stuff going about at the time, to refer to. But some of the stuff they were saying about how cold it will get in, the smells, they're coming home and the decorations have been thrown onto the floor. Stories like that actually started to intrigue me to find out what this could be, and and talk to other people who had similar experiences and stuff. And I think that's really, from my perspective, where I got into starting to meet these guys, Phil, Sarah. We started to, meet up with them, and then we were talking, and then really trying to find out what other people's experiences were. And I guess the search was it the people who were in the house, what or a specific thing. You know, so I think that's it for me. Is I'm in the search of what is out there and what people are experiencing.
Yeah, it's never ending, isn't it? It's so intriguing, and I think it's because you can't get the total answers.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful.
And it's interesting as well that there's a lot of similar stories. You know, when you start comparing, when you talk to so many people, and the amount of people what we've been involved with and been around, and when you start hearing little bits and pieces of what they've been through, there's actually a very, very similar story going on. You know, you're thinking, I don't know what it is, or where it comes from, or what starts it, but very, very similar all the way through.
Yeah, it is great if you can post some weird experience and stuff. Yeah, I have had that. I'm like, wow, really? You know. But what about you, Phil?
Yeah, I first got into it by reading books when I was a nipper, legends and myths, and it just kind of progressed onto ghosts and hauntings. And then I thought I saw the ghost of one of the family cats when I was about 14, walked past my bedroom door, which is a bit strange. And I went to see what it was, and there was nothing there. And then I started investigating actively from about 16. So I'm 51 in January. So it's a long time.
Yeah.
And then obviously along came the TV kind of thing with Scream Team and Most Haunted. And then that's where we are now. I met Sarah in 2007. We fell in love. And got married, and we met Wayne and everybody else, and we've been paying the price ever since.
And you got married at a beautiful castle.
We did, yeah.
When I got married at.
Yeah.
But the marriage didn't last that long for me, but hey ho.
How long are you guys
Moving
been
on.
married for?
Moving on. Shit happens.
How long have
what
we
can
been
you
married
say?
for, did you say?
Yeah, how long have you guys been married for?
We had our 10th anniversary last year.
Oh,
Oh, fantastic.
So it's 11 years this year.
oh.
So did you get to celebrate it?
Yeah. 10th anniversary we did. We went away, didn't we? Well, we went away.
Yeah,
we went to...
we did. We were supposed to be going away sort of like beginning, April time in the year, weren't we? We were going on a cruise with my parents, but obviously that didn't all happen. So we were supposed to be doing Vegas and going over to the States, which I'm completely gutted about because I've never been over there and I was so excited. But unfortunately, COVID paid the price there. But we did. We went away, didn't we, to Robin Hood's Bay, which is a staycation and it's a beautiful place. So
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Just a bit hilly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but once you're down in the bay, you're all right, unless you need to walk back up to the pub. So
Yeah. I spent the weekend in Whitby a bit ago, and oh no, up and down, nightmare. But gets you fit, doesn't it?
Get a couple of pints down, scotch or whiskey or whatever, and gin or something, and you don't worry about it then.
Well, there is a brewery near the top now, near the Abbey, so that's cool. Yeah. Just back in the day, you had to queue ages to get in it, though. That was annoying. But yeah. And then you've got pubs everywhere. That's good. What about you then, Ben?
How did I get into spooky stuff?
I wonder.
I don't know. I just kind of stumbled across it one day.
Short and sweet answer.
Frequently was that? You just stumble across it frequently?
I don't know. I kind of was walking around the house, and sometimes my mum and dad will mention others and stuff, and I'd see
guests. I think was the word we used, wasn't it, Wayne?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'd see some weird boards with funny markings and writing on Ouija boards. I'd be like, "What the hell's that?" And then my mum and dad would just disappear some days. I'm like, "Okay, I don't know, they've gone." So, and eventually they took me on one of them, and it was in Nottingham. I don't actually remember it too well. Honestly, it's kind of.
Is that Town Hall?
Yeah, it was Nottingham Town Hall, which was it was really cool actually because myself and Jane, we were the first ever to go into Nottingham.
I think we were the second group, but the first group were just I think they just, I don't know, they'd not investigated it as a whole, I don't think.
Yeah, but we were actually asked to go in, or you were, weren't you, Jane? You were asked to bring the team in at that point because they were having some weird things going on. So we kind of put Nottingham Town Hall on the map, so to speak. So when it came around that we were doing this event and Ben came along, so it was quite nice that it started at Nottingham Town Hall, and he loved it. He was off in them basements. The basements that are quite vast and very dark and quite spooky, but he was away. He was loving it.
It's always the basement, though, isn't it? Basement or cellar.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but if you're on something like that, you just want to get in those areas because there's usually something kicks off down there.
Absolutely.
It's just not being able to see your hand in front of your face, isn't it, Ben?
Well, that's one thing, yeah.
And Ben's the one person out of the whole team that likes to be just left on his own as well. He likes to give him a camera and he'll just say, I'll go off on my own somewhere.
You don't let me do it enough.
No.
What we did? When you were you at the Antique Centre with your friend Steve. Although having said that, there is some footage of both Sarah and Ben getting a little bit freaked out when they go down into these long tunnels or basements and things like that. So
Yeah.
it's quite funny. I'm more sensible. I don't do any of that.
Did you get to do Draco?
Yeah.
We did
Ben's
Draco as a public event, but we didn't do a private event. So, but Ben's not been. Wayne's been. You've been, have you? Draco
Wayne
tunnels?
likes driving home from Draco.
Oh yeah, of course. Driving home from Draco.
Did you get lost?
No, not at all. No. It's just when we do public events, it gets to when we leave. It's normally silly o'clock, and I go a bit loopy.
We all do. Is that must be the same for everybody, surely?
Yeah, it must
Does
be.
everybody go a bit cuckoo?
And we start talking a bit.
We
We start talking a bit crazy, like, and I just started singing along to Chris Rea's "Driving Home for Christmas," but I changed the words to reflect Draco and the event that we just had. And it was freezing in winter, so it was like driving home from Draco.
Oh wow!
And my hands are very cold.
New #1 Christmas record to be
There you
released by Phil Wyman. That's cool.
It's Wayne's favourite.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Wayne looks really impressed.
What
Wayne gets mentioned in it, so he should be impressed.
Yeah. What would actually be a surprise for me is he actually sang it on a CD, and we were going to another event, and we were in the back of the car, and he actually just pressed play on this CD, and this actually song, what he actually sang, just come over, which was just incredible. I'll never forget that.
That's brilliant.
I'm thinking, I know this one, and it's in.
Oh,
It starts off like Chris Rea, the music and everything, and I kick in. I think he was a bit disappointed actually when that
Goes south from there.
So, what about you then, Jane? Where did it all start for you?
Oh, well, as a kid, I was always interested in the weird and the wacky and the unknown, and eventually moved into more ghost stuff. But even the teen don't know I used to do this. When I was sort of early teens and, used to go out on gangs on an evening wandering the streets, quite often I used to not go out with the gang that night. I used to go sit in the cemetery on my own. I used to absolutely love it. Just being in the cemetery, just sit on a bench and just sit there. I just used to love it. And then obviously as I got older, started watching more on the TV, watched a certain show, and the next morning I literally thought, I'm going to do that. So got my laptop, found a group that had just started, which was one that Sarah just started up, went and met them, and then the rest is history. And that's a lot. How many years ago is that, Sarah?
Oh, too many to mention, I think.
Gosh, yeah, a lot of years ago. A lot of years ago.
Yeah.
can't get rid of a sentence.
So I guess the show is the one Phil was in.
It was, yes.
Yeah, because Von made a comment earlier. Basically, a lot of people moan about Most Haunted, but it created a huge awareness for many people who'd experienced paranormal, who were in limbo about what it was from being a young age.
Absolutely.
Because if you had issues if you experience things, it was just happening to you, and you didn't realise it was a thing, did you? I guess.
No.
And
No.
it's certainly got me interested in the paranormal. It's got a lot to answer for. It
Yeah,
cost me limited money.
It was one of the groundbreaking shows that brought paranormal and hauntings and ghosts to the masses. So that is something to be kind of grateful for, as it were, because otherwise there wouldn't be so many shows on nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think back then it was kind of swept under the carpet. If you spoke about these things, you were always classified as off your head. You know, you said, I woke up to something at the bottom of my bed and they'd go, you were just half sleeping. You know, you get debunked that way, you know. Even see when you say a lot of things like you hear things and that, you're automatically presumed back then you were going off, like you're going crazy. But nowadays it's more acceptable. People are like, oh, wow, what did you hear? What did they say? And, you know, when I tell a lot of people what I do, like first time, automatically first question, top question, have you seen anything? Always the top question, have you seen anything? And where a few of my pals will, you know, sort of jibe me and say, you're a ghostbuster and things like that. You know, there's a lot of other people that are more interested in it than you expect, you know.
A lot of people have always then follow it up with a story that they've got as well.
That's true, yeah.
Their experience to you then.
Can I just ask if you can still hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it comes back to what Wayne was saying earlier on. Obviously, you know, when you tell one story and then somebody else says, oh, wait, and that actually happened to me, and that makes sense. Then it just goes in the domino effect of, well, you know what, I've been through this experience, and then somebody else wants to share the experience, and before you know it, a lot of people have shared, obviously, their experiences.
When we did public events, and it would always take somebody first to speak up, and then you'd be surprised how many people will go, well, I had the same thing. So it just takes one person, because I think everybody's just a bit afraid of talking out to other people they don't particularly know.
Yeah, you're going a bit quiet, Phil.
Am I getting a bit quiet? Am I getting louder?
Yeah, you're getting louder now.
Hello.
You're just hiding away there.
Well, you know, it's my little voice.
Yeah, your little voice. So, what are your plans then? Now you're free.
Oh.
Well,
Sarah.
Go on, Sarah.
We are. We have filmed. How many episodes have we filmed? 1, 2, 3. 3 episodes so far of season 3. And we have got other locations lined up. It's just getting out there and getting to do it, because we've had a lot of things going off, really, like we've moved house and things like that. It's just stuff that gets in the way, isn't it, with your normal life? But yeah, we've got locations lined up. We've got episode 1 season 3 is in the edit now, and it's not going to be too long before it's out there. But I'm going to be honest, it is delayed rather, because I've got this bad shoulder, and I'm sort of sat here with the TENS machine going and on a cushion and fidgeting, because I just can't sit for too long. So it's impossible really for me to do anything with the editing at the minute. So Phil's kind of waiting for me right now. But yeah, we would hope that within the next few weeks, all being well, that the new episode and the new season will be out there. So, but the other big news, of course, is the fact that we've got onto Pluto TV with Are You Haunted, which is a free platform.
Fantastic.
It's available to download onto iOS, Android, and if you've got like smart TVs or you've got Xbox or PlayStation, it's as an app, and it's got hundreds of different programs and genres on there.
I have Pluto TV and I would recommend it to anybody. It's actually quite amazing. And if you really, really want to watch the Jerry Springer show, It's always on there.
It's got all sorts on there, honestly. So yeah, but it's got quite a lot of paranormal stuff on there. So yeah, we're really chuffed to be on it. We're great. It's great that we've got Are You Haunted on there. And I don't know if it is tonight, but over the last few days, it certainly has been. It's just constantly streaming episode after episode after episode.
8 o'clock tonight we start. Well, 7:59 we start streaming again, so you can get us on demand now.
Yeah,
stream
and we're on demand as well. So yeah.
Wow, so that's Pluto TV. I will try and put a note in the when I change the details of the show so that people will see it and then can find it. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'll try and put some details out there so
Can I
that
just
it's
ask, do you
easy to
guys
watch the shows.
to England, or do you go round about?
We are looking to expand our horizons. We're in talks with a couple of venues not in England. So it's perhaps up towards your neck of the woods, Lois.
Oh, coming up to sunny Scotland.
Funny, yeah.
We shall see what happens.
Yeah, we shall see.
It's we're spread all over the place, and it's quite difficult sometimes for us to get all together and travel up there and things. So
yeah, I mean, as you can see, we've got one member that's not with us tonight, Dale, is working. So obviously Dale's not on tonight, and it does get quite difficult trying to get people all together as well. So, and especially now we've got Ben over at uni, which is he's down south. So hopefully we can get Ben when he's got holidays, but if not, it might be an episode that he's not on it.
Oh no!
Which
who will get picked on then? Jane
always gets picked on. She'll be the first to tell you. If it's not Jane, it's Dale.
I don't get picked on. I pick on people.
Yeah. But can I just say for series 3, we have a couple of absolute stunning locations, absolutely amazing locations.
Yeah, we have very different
lucky.
as well. Very different. A very diverse sort of range of places, and some that have never been heard of, and very unlikely as well, I will say. And we had, when you go somewhere and you think, I'm not sure what this is going to be like, and we had such an amazing night. So,
I know what you're talking about, and do you know what? I think that's going to be one of my all-time favourites because of us as a group, what we experienced.
Oh yeah, I just remembered what you're talking about now. Oh my god, that was. I'll tell you what. It's not very often when I think of a venue and what happened on the venue when we were filming it, but this place, when I think about what happened, I get goosebumps, and I'm getting goosebumps now. It's absolutely unreal. It was absolutely astounding. And we just could not believe it. We just could not believe what was going on.
And like
can you get that episode out, Sarah? You sort your arm out.
A very unlikely venue, but
it's going to be no more likely. It's going to be episode 2.
I do find that, and we've got a lot of locations out there that are on the map, and as you know, as Are You Haunted, we try to steer away from the more bigger, popular, overdone locations, if you like. We do like to bring venues forward that are unheard of or not as popular. So, and we are still looking as well. So if anybody is watching and you think you've got a venue that we might be interested, then please do get in touch because we are looking for more.
Yeah. Can you if anybody's actually listened to that and they do have a venue, can you please private message? Do not put it on Facebook feed. Private messages.
No, just put it in the comments for me. Yeah, I totally get you. Like I sort of mentioned somewhere to Sarah the other day, and that was an interesting place. But
yeah, and I would like to know where that is.
I know you do. I'm just sorting that one out. But we'll sort that out later. So Darren Blake says, "Hi Phil, don't forget your first paranormal outing Scream team. Whatever happened to that dodgy old bus?"
You know what? We broke the bus. It was an American Airstream, silver Airstream, and we called it the Silver Bullet. And I'm sure one day, while we were driving to one of the investigation areas across the UK, a dog ran out in front of the bus, and we kind of almost lost control and hit an island. and the
God.
curb, banked up on the curb of the island, and it knackered the bus. So from that moment on, we were driving around in a Dodge kind of day van, I think they call them. But it was nowhere near as nice as the silver bus. But yeah, that was there were some memories there.
Oh God, I've got memories of a Dodge van. My parents had one. My God,
Phil's face. Do we really want to hear this?
they have character.
Oh, matron.
Wayne wants you to go down to Colchester.
Okay.
Why?
Wayne.
Just kidding. Just kidding. No, as I say, we would love to
Take
broaden
us to
our.
Wayne.
Yeah, why not? We'd love to broaden our horizons and go
Yeah,
further
there's some very dodgy people
that way
down
and
there.
further that way and perhaps further that way.
Yeah, that's it. We've got Robbie. He knows a couple you may know of. So
Oh,
I've just been up to Scotland, and there's locations everywhere. There's castles. It's brilliant.
shush then.
And I love it.
In Scotland. Shh.
Don't go to Scotland. There's nothing to see there.
No. It's
Nothing
cold
there.
and it rains.
I
It
don't
really
even recommend
rains.
going to Scotland.
Scotland is an absolute gorgeous country, especially in the autumn when everything's turning. You travel up the roads where there's like woods either side of you and things like that, and it's great.
I think I missed it by a couple of weeks. I went too early. I missed the Northern Lights by 1 week.
Oh, right.
Oh no.
Yeah, because I was in Skye, and the following Saturday it was there in full. The reds, the greens. Oh no, even the reds were out. Oh my God, I've got her destroyed. But yeah,
You were in Skye, did you say?
yeah, I went to Skye.
Yeah. Did you catch a little wee bonny boat?
No, we had a
Wee
large
bonny boat like a
large
bird
dog.
on the breeze. Isn't that the right? That's the one. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Over
I
the
had a
seas
large
to
dog.
Skye, man. You had a what?
Don't
I
have
had
him
a large
singing.
dog which might not have liked the wee boat.
Oh, right, okay.
It might
Yeah,
not have gone down well.
Yeah, or might not have come up very well.
No, that could have ended up messy. So I've got Andy Jones watching about that place again, which is wet and windy and cold.
Yeah. Don't go there.
And fun. Wet, windy, cold. What can you say? Somebody has made a comment about somewhere, which you'll find later, but we'll show it anyway. So you won't be doing this location now because it's out there.
Oh, right, okay.
Do you know that one?
It's the one in Scotland.
No.
No, I have never heard of it. I don't know.
Lancashire.
I'm just
It's in
kidding.
Blackpool somewhere, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, Blackpool. Nobody wants to go to Blackpool. Crikey.
Oh, I don't know, but there's some interesting places.
Oh, I like Blackpool.
You just,
Do you?
yeah, just full of
Great
people
rock.
though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Tower Ballroom would be cool, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah.
Well, no thanks. It's too high up.
Oh yeah, he don't like heights. Imagine sticking him in the dark up a high place.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I can't stand heights, yeah.
Oh dear. No, it'd be on the inside, not the outside, so you'd be all right.
Oh, God. Yeah.
No.
So, what's your favourite location then, Ben? Okay, what's the favourite location that you have investigated?
Oh, I've been to so many. Oh, I think the one
He's having
in
to do
season
some
3
work
that
now,
I
you
can't
see.
mention at the moment. That's
Oh
probably my
yeah,
favourite.
one that you can't mention because it's upcoming.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
But-
has anybody got a place other than the one they can't mention?
There's so many. That'd be like me saying to you, "What's your favourite location, Jacqueline?"
Yeah, I've got this location because of this and this because of that. and
Yeah, you can't just say
Okay.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah.
like.
Okay.
RF
we like-
Bimbrook for me, that was good.
Yeah, Bimbrook's brilliant. There's all
Yeah.
different ones for different reasons.
Yeah, there is.
Thorn. I love Thorn.
Thorn Workhouse, yeah. The music hall in Settle where Tim tries
Yeah.
to chop his fingers off by catching his drone.
Otterburn.
Hot to bone castle. Yeah, he was taking some drone footage of the music hall, and he lost kind of control of it, and it came towards him, and he stuck his hand out to stop it
Yeah, he
and
did.
sliced his fingers. Yeah, that was
Yeah. Wigan
County,
House.
wherever they were. Wigan House is absolutely awesome when we did that.
Wow.
Yeah. That's when
Um,
Jane saw a ghosty.
Sarah Bloke, yeah.
Mm.
Oh, fantastic.
The one in the northeast, the Steelworks Hospital.
Yeah.
Concert, yeah. That was good. Gosh, there's so many.
Tutbury Castle.
Yeah.
Tutbury was amazing.
Special with Leslie. And
Yeah, I watched that. That's cool. Like, I know I go to Tutbury, but yeah.
Wayne tripping up the steps.
Again.
Not for the first time.
First time ever.
So Robbie says, don't go to Blackpool in September and filled with Scottish pensioners.
Noted.
Yeah, they're off to see the lights, aren't they, I guess?
Yeah.
I've got a question for you then, Wayne. So, as you're a newest member of the team, I'd like to ask you, what has been your favourite investigation so far? Except for the one you can't mention.
Good question.
Penryn.
I think for me would have to be Brimbrook because of the audio what we had afterwards. So it's not just about the night of the investigation. What the guys do is when we go through all the bits and pieces afterwards, we find a load more. And then when we rifle, I mean, as Sarah and Phil and everybody else say, we can't physically show off. We could do another episode on it, but I think for that was for me, audio wise, after the event was the best I've been to so far.
Wow. For the ones who haven't watched it, then what sort of audio did you get?
Wow.
I think the most interesting one. What did we say? Phil said, what it like some communication with some like radio chatter.
Yeah. Scottish Guy, the American lady, you could hear them clear as day.
Yeah.
What was totally baffling, Wayne sets up all the audio recorders because he's a kind of audio tech guy, and we set something that was just behind the stage area, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And when we were listening to it back, Wayne goes over the audio, and I'm not kidding you, clear as day. There's like a conversation with two Scottish blokes.
Yeah.
And then a little bit later, literally about 5, 6, 7 seconds later, there's an American woman comes over.
Yeah.
It's
really bizarre.
Totally bizarre. We were just listening to it and we're like, what the hell is
There's
that?
nothing else around there. There's not like there's houses or interference that you could get from outside noise.
And we're not just talking.
It's distinguished. You can actually hear the voices.
You're not just talking, you know, you get EVPs and then people go, that's a Class A EVP, and it's like,
Yeah.
Right? Honest to God, you can hear clear as day, words, full words, proper accent, and the American lady that comes over, it is you can actually hear everything she says. She says a sentence.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
It's like something like, all right, ladies and gentlemen. That's what she says. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in an American voice. You listen to it. Honestly, you will not believe it, and it's totally, totally genuine.
Yeah, I'll share it onto the
From
page.
the location was behind. And obviously we're behind the stage, so if you think about whereabouts it's set up is and what we actually picked up was just incredible.
Wow, that's cool.
I've never heard EVP. You can take your EVPs from all the other shows. Yeah, fair enough. I've never heard EVPs as clear as that. Audio that we've captured on audio as clear as that. And I've been doing this since I was 16.
Wow.
And that's not, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating with that.
I've only ever got one EVP. Well, I've had 2 EVPs, and I managed to delete one of them. And I've got Neil Pepper watching, and one was actually from Haunted Antiques.
We
But
had,
somebody filmed it, but I don't know what happened to the footage. But I'll have to have a word with that guy.
we had another one at Keitha Streets, which was
Yeah.
again clear as day. Who was it was asking out?
It was
Sarah.
me and Dale.
You and Dale, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were asking
Sarah.
out for children.
Yeah. Are there
And,
any children here?
Children.
And a voice comes over and it just says, stop. Clear as anything.
Clear as anything. Stop.
And so what I did was I looked back onto the nearest people that were to me and Dale, which, by the way, you can't hear that on the camera audio. You can only hear it on the Zoom audio. So I went back to the hub cam, which was the nearest people to us at the location. And I watched from the last radio contact. I used that as a marker point, and I watched it through. And none of the guys on the hub said stop or raised the voices or sounded anything like it. And I went back through the same radio contacts at the other guys, which were down the right bottom end of there's like tunnels, I guess, in there. And it wasn't them either. So where that came from, I have no idea. Don't know.
Brilliant. It's just great to get that credible evidence, isn't it? And actually try and debunk it, and nothing else is around, and you know that.
I think it's the baffle. It just baffles me, and then it's because it baffles me because I'm quite a logical person. I want to be able to explain it, and when I can't explain it, I can't. I just play it over and over again in my head, and it's the same when I've seen something. You remember it, and you'll never, like Jane. You know, you experience what you experience at Wigan House, and it's something that will stick with you forever. I saw an apparition years and years ago, and I can still see it now as plain as anything, and I still can't get my head around what I did actually see. But it was a person in front of me.
Wow.
How would I explain that? Really bizarre.
I'm yet to see an apparition. I'd love to. I've seen something gain a face. It's just a mass, like a dark mass, and it gained a face. But I don't kind of call that an apparition yet. It's one of them, isn't it? So, Jack Dawson, has there been any place you investigated that has actually really freaked you out? So, shall we start with Ben then?
Binbrook.
Binbrook.
Oh yeah, you did.
I've never been so freaked out. I felt really on edge down there. I don't really know how it felt like I was being watched, and I kind of had like images in my mind of like this creature walking around and staring at me through like cracks and stuff, and it just really made me paranoid. So I kind of just had to call everyone over to just like safety numbers and everything. But even then, it was still terrifying because there's so much going on.
Wow. When you think it was a creature or a person, what do you think?
Well, in my head, I just imagined this really tall, lanky thing just staring at me. So.
You mean Dale?
That's cool. So, Sarah, what about you?
Oh,
What about the one at Sheffield, Sarah, in that tunnel?
Endcliff.
Yeah, Endcliff.
yeah. Yeah, I guess when you're there at the time, it can freak you out. But I'm just trying to think of somewhere that, you know, where you just sort of think, because I've worked doing events. When you're doing a public event, it's completely different to when you're doing this sort of like privately, because your main focus is your guests and looking after your guests. Yeah. And I remember we did the what was the asylum that was at Leicester? I can't remember what the
Towers.
Yeah, the Towers Asylum in Leicester. And I'd taken a group up to, I think it was like one of the higher floors. And I can't remember if I'd forgotten something and I had to come down. And I said, "Oh, it's all right. I'll go and get it," thinking, "Oh, I'll just walk through this complete pitch black abandoned asylum by myself and I'll be fine." And I think I got 2 floors down, and you come down these steps, and then you had to walk across this really massive room before you could go down the next set of stairs. And walking across that room, it was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And that was really freaky. But I just carried on walking and did it. But yeah, there's a few places where you sort of think, it's when you're by yourself. I think I got quite nervous at Bishop's Manor when I was by myself and I could hear noises. But you kind of focus on what you're doing and sometimes put that to one side. Do you know what I mean?
Can you remember Deanery years ago, Sarah, when you did that lone vigil on those stairs and we had to all come running because we could all hear it, even on your radio, somebody walking towards you, but there was nobody there.
Yeah.
That was freaky, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a place in Ripon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cheers, Andy. Same to you, mate.
So, what about you then, Phil? You've been freaked out.
Do I get freaked out? Really, I don't really get that
Yeah,
freaked.
you get
out.
freaked out. Turn the light off and he freaks out.
I'm in Halifax.
You like the dark then?
Oh yeah, the pub in Halifax.
Oh yeah, the pub in Halifax. When we were downstairs and something kind of, I don't know, it was this weird voice whispered something, and both Tim and myself heard it, and there was, and I absolutely pooped my pants. I was totally not expecting it at all. And yeah, so that was a bit freaky, yeah. But basically, anything that's dark and anything that's dark.
The weirdest thing is that when you were in the pub and that happened, they'd got like the emergency lighting was on, so it wasn't actually dark either.
No, it wasn't dark.
So
that emergency lighting, my God, it's everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pain in the backside,
quite an ambient lighting down in. You were in the bar area, and he heard, and you can hear it on the footage. But yeah, Phil got proper freaked out, and he was like, "Everybody, get down here now!"
Oh, and then when Wayne and myself were doing a vigil in the place that cannot be named yet. Do you remember?
Yeah, I was going to mention that. That's the one. Probably
Yeah.
Oh yes.
That was freaky.
So that is yet to come.
That's yet to come, yeah.
Wow. Definitely going to watch that one. Definitely share it onto the page. I want to see it. Jane, what about you?
I'm going to go back to Thorn again because I was that on edge that night because everybody was hearing everything that was happening, and I was with Dale, who was freaked out anyway, which was making me worse. I've never heard as many footsteps and door bangs like that anywhere. I think that was like a one-off night. I bet if we went back there, there'd not be a peep. You know, where anything came out that night, and you just have such high expectations for another time. But that was bonkers in there that night. We could have done another episode.
Away, didn't it?
Yeah.
We were doing the bits to camera and talking about in the group chat, and we could hear stuff going off left, right, centre.
Yeah,
brilliant.
And there was no caretaker in the building, and you could hear them. Oh, it was just.
I was packing the stuff away while we just finished filming the group chat, and I was packing the rest of the gear away while the others had a wander around downstairs. I may add, and I heard these footsteps walk across the landing, and then a door closed. So I'm like, "Who the hell?" So I walked in there, and I'm like, "Who's just walked upstairs?" None of us have walked upstairs. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Because these footsteps walk straight across the landing and go straight out the door. Get a camera, go and check it out. It was like unreal. I didn't have a camera because I was packing the stuff away. I wasn't expecting anything to be, anything happening like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a question then. You might not want to answer it, but it's from Wayne. Have you guys ever had an experience that you wouldn't share with anyone?
A ghostly experience.
I don't know, Wayne.
Yeah, we're still talking paranormal here, Wayne.
We'll stick down the ghostly one, I think.
I don't think I've had any experiences that I wouldn't mention to anybody. What about any of you guys?
No, I think I'm just too eager to tell everybody when something happens. Just sort of check in. I've not gone mad. Madder.
I'll tell you what, it's not one that he wouldn't mention, but Ben gets sleep paralysis. And you had a really freaky experience. Yes, like if you've ever experienced sleep paralysis, it's scary enough on its own if you just wake up and you can't move. But Ben actually has the thing where he's got something in the room with him as well.
Oh my!
Tell everybody what you saw in the room that time.
Which
you played
one?
you played me that video back, didn't you? What it was. Like, my God.
Starting last year and to like halfway through this year, I got a lot of sleep paralysis, and I put it down in my notes. And I think in January this year alone, I had like 6 times in the space of 2 weeks or something like that.
Oh no!
But in college, we was looking at short films, and there's this one short film that was like "Don't Look Away," it's called or something, and it's just a silly little like student project, but this woman basically looks out a window. She sees a guy stood in this field, like in a full suit and a bag over his head, with like eye holes, so that you can't see his face, but you can see his eye holes, so he's staring back. And he's like, it's an all tattered up suit, like it's been torn to pieces, kind of thing. He's just standing there staring, and it's one of those like it's a bit like the Weeping Angels. It's like if you look away, then he gets closer. And in my sleep paralysis, I wake up in the middle of the night and I see him about other side of my room, and I'm like, oh, I can't look away from him now. So I naturally did look away at some point, and he gets closer and closer to me, and eventually I've just got this bag about this far from my face, staring direct at me, and I'm like, okay.
Oh,
That's awful.
that's horrible.
Horrendous, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've heard about it, but oh God, no.
You freak.
It's weird. Because then it just like disappears, and I'm like,
Oh, wait. I've got a question here then from Robbie in Scotland. Where it rains and it's cloudy and stuff. What's your biggest fears when investigating? His is a location with dolls. He doesn't like them, and they don't like him.
Oh, I don't like dolls or clowns.
Clowns.
Oh, clowns! Haunted Antiques is great for you then.
Yeah, they're not too bad then though, because they're only like little ones, aren't they? But I can remember me and Jane, we did that one in York, and there was a pot clown that was on the shelf that was staring at us, which was pretty evil.
My worst fear is actually encountering a ghost. Believe it or not.
Oh wow!
Because I don't know what I mean. If I walked around a darkened corner somewhere and there's somebody stood right in front of me, I would absolutely freak. I would go mental, literally. I'm sure of it. Although Jane didn't go mental, but I think I would be Speedy Gonzalez out of there, pulling my hair out. Going, what the hell?
No, you were there. That could have made a difference. If I'd have been on my own, I probably would have freaked.
Oh, bless you. Did you see the apparition at Thorn Workhouse then, Jane?
No. It was audibles there. Really, really loud audibles. I saw something at the Concert Steelworks, and then I saw the figure down at Wigan House. Sorry if you can hear a noise, it's one of my dogs that's just wandered in.
It's all right. It's my bird's asleep now. He was a bit of a pain earlier. So what about you then, Ben? Is there anything what you're scared of, dolls or anything?
Hallways is the only thing that spooks me out. Because when there's a long hallway with loads of doors and you walk past them all, it's just that proper freaks me out. But I'm okay with everything else. Just that.
Yeah, that is freaky. If you're walking down a long corridor, obviously at night, because we were doing night vision camera shots and everything, and the doors are open and you have to walk past them, and you think something's going to be staring at you when you walk past the door.
Yeah. Especially if one moves.
At hotel as well, where it shut behind us.
Yeah, that was Morecambe Hotel, wasn't it? The door shut.
Yeah, Park Hotel.
Park Hotel,
yeah. Sounds cool. Right, last question, I think. Is there anything that still baffles you in the paranormal?
All of it.
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
It's just never-ending questions, isn't it?
Yeah. We're hunting for answers. Don't know if we'll ever get them.
You what, Wayne?
Yeah.
That's why we continue to do it. That's why we all continue to do it, because the answer's not there. We're still searching for what we're all looking for, and there's more answers out there. There's more things to investigate, and that's what intrigues us to go out night after night after night, really. And that goes for everybody in the paranormal community.
I've got to agree with that one. We do go out there and we do look for answers, and when you do get the answers, I mean, I've been out a good few times, and I suppose for me, it's when you get the spirit to interact with you, knowing. I know it sounds stupid, but I like from him knowing that I've communicated and I've helped somebody. If that makes sense, even though I can't physically see them, knowing that I've actually spoke to that person, and it does sound crazy, right? But just knowing that obviously I've spoke to them, and okay, I maybe not be able to give them the answers that they want, but just communicating with them, that's. I mean, that one that we did with the paranormal footprints, and to have the spirit actually sat nearly on my shoulder, and I'm having to like listen alive. You know, that was pretty good. I love that experience.
It is amazing. And it's like when you have friends who actually don't believe in it, and you know that there is something, you've had enough experiences to know, and they go, oh no, that's rubbish. You're like, yeah, mate, you know. And they know so much, and yet like we've viewed a little secret world, haven't we, that they
Yeah.
may or may not ever see.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Yeah.
It's just so
And it's
fascinating.
when you think you've just got an angle of what really is, you know, especially what we've done on some of the later investigation, it's going to the next level. It's like what with the episode what everybody's on about when it comes up, what me and Phil experience and stuff like that. When you just think you know your bangs, you know these and you know that, and then it never fails to amuse me when you think something else has happened and you've gone away that night thinking, what was that? What could possibly cause that? There's nothing rationally you can think what's causing these things, and it's just going to the next level every single time.
What is interesting is that if there is a day where science actually says, you know what, this is solid proof that spirits don't exist, ghosts don't exist, what is it people are seeing?
Aliens? I don't know.
Because that's when it gets really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. And this is where a whole other thing opens up. We can just go on, you go down the rabbit hole then, don't you?
Yeah. Because there is something, but yeah, there's no proof it's a spirit, is there?
There you go.
You just kind of use that word and you, I don't know. Yeah.
Parallel universes, there's all sorts, different dimensions.
Definitely.
Getting deep now.
It's all string
It is
theory.
though, isn't it?
It
all
is,
string
yeah.
theory.
It is.
It's just massive. Yeah, so like Von says, where is the next level going to be when you have proof?
Good question.
That is a good question.
And if you had proof, would you lose interest in it?
Not really, because it would make you want to do more. It's like people getting tattoos, the first tattoo, and then once you get more tattoos, you just want more and more and more and more. So it's just like that's the same as ghost hunting. The first piece of evidence you get, you're not dying to
Ben
get.
smiling.
Oh, beautiful.
But, I mean, Ben will know himself, him being the youngest here, that once you get that, you know, that, oh my God, you know, I've got my first experience, I want more, and you just keep going and going. I don't think it's ever, you know, going to end. It's never ending because you're always wanting the next set of proof, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well put, yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's addictive, isn't it?
Oh, for sure, definitely.
We'd be so much richer if we didn't do this.
Oh, yeah.
How many hobbies do you have for this many years, if you can call it a hobby, because that's what it starts off at?
What would we do with our lives if we weren't doing this?
I know.
Really?
well, who struggles to talk to a normal human being about something rather than ghost hunting? Because I sure as say.
Yeah, Van says, well, I think if someone came up with a proof, it would open a whole new science.
It would,
And
because then if there was proof that spirits and ghosts did exist, then we'd be able to work on something in a way that we can try and communicate with them or step over to their side and see what's like over there. Yeah. Like Alice in Wonderland. Down the rabbit hole you go.
Yeah, definitely.
This is how geeky I am. I'm actually sitting here thinking about Stargate, Atlantis, going into other worlds.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be super
That's
cool.
it.
I took that job.
So, Wayne, do you believe in UFOs or existence of off-world beings?
Yes.
Do I believe?
That was from Wayne Seedon. Do you believe in UFOs or
question,
existence of off-world beings, Wayne?
Do you believe in aliens, Wayne?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I think I do. Yes, I think I do. I think we'd be ignorant to think that we're the only people in the civilized universe. So yes, I do. Yes, whether they've made contact with us here or wherever, I don't know about that. But yes, I do believe there's other beings out there. Yes.
That's a yes from Wayne.
Yeah. Ben, what
Yes,
do you
from me.
think?
Yeah.
What do you think about UFOs, Wayne? Ben, sorry.
I don't know if they've been here, but certainly they do exist. There's no way it's just us. So
Yeah. Jane?
I think they're here now. I think some of the
What, Phil?
cryptozoology could possibly be alien. Stuff like they brought up, the goblins over in the cave systems in America that keep popping up. Sort of the Helia covered stuff. I'm into all that as well. Phillies. So yeah, defo.
Yeah, the Helia guys are brilliant. I've met them. Yeah. But yeah, they sort of go from like whether the spirits are sort of aliens, don't they? They go along that concept, which is intriguing, and that's kind of where I got my question from in a way, because we sort of mentioned like spirits, sort of alien side of things. So last one then. Have you encountered anyone famous in spirit on an investigation? Sarah?
I don't recall that I have, if I'm honest with you. No, I don't think so.
Okay, Wayne?
No.
No.
Sorry.
Ben? Jane?
No.
And Phil?
Nope. We've all got better things to do. I mean, for instance, Henry VIII will be looking up for his new wife, which is probably on about 6,000th by now.
Oh, God, yeah. Chopping off all the heads.
Chopping off all the heads, yeah. Adding to his collection,
But I want to thank you so much for talking to us, and can't wait to see the mystery location and any other episodes. Yeah, I will keep sharing them. It's wonderful what you do. So glad you're going to a free platform as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And yeah, I'll get Pluto TV and I put details on here as well. But anything to add, Lois?
Nope, not at all, guys. It's been a pleasure and an absolute honour.
So
Thank you very
nothing
much
from
for
the
having us
rainy, cloudy place then?
Can I just say to everybody who's watching, thank you massively for the support what we're giving to the team. Without it, we'd be nothing. So can I just say to everybody out there, thank you very much for the support that we've been given.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Second that.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, but that's down to you guys for doing things straight and honest and showing things as they are and trying to debunk things and discussing things logically.
Well, that's how it should be. If you're approaching the paranormal subject, you should approach it that way.
Well, it should be, yeah. But yeah.
We just love what we do, and we just find it great that everybody else, the people that follow us, that you enjoy it too. And while ever you're enjoying it, we'll carry on doing it. So thank you guys for having us on again tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. I loved it.
It's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. It's been
and
lovely.
thanks to everybody that's asked questions as well.
Yeah, brilliant questions. Thank you. Take care. Thanks everyone for watching. Look after yourselves. Bye.